Hardy har, it's me, the Bargain Pirate, and welcome to an all-new adventures in game chasing yar. So today, a nice little slow, relax episode. I did some light game chasing in local pawn shops. I have one about 5 minutes away from me, and there's another one about 10 minutes of walk away from me. And even though we're all confined and things, I can still go into a store in the afternoon and just look at the games that they have. The selection was not crazy or anything like that, but there was still some nice pickings to be had. Let's get started! So today's first game, I got at a pawn shop, and it was only $5, and I'm like, you know what, I was looking for it online. Usually it goes about twice or three times as much, $10, $15 usually, but I found it for $5. I'm really happy. I got 10 Yard Fight for the Nintendo, the NES. 10 Yard Fight is part of the first batch of games for the NES. It's one of the launch titles, and it's also, when you collect one of the earlier titles on the list. I think because of the one, sometimes some lists don't count the 10, they count the 1 only, so this usually is at the top of the list. It's usually either this or 8 Eyes or something, but 10 Yard Fight, yeah, it's usually where you start your list when you collect games. It's got a bit of a sticker here, but that's okay. It's not in bad condition. The back is the American back, so it's not the Canadian one. It's a cool little piece to have in my collection. This game is okay. It's the first football game American football game for the Nintendo. It's based on the Irem arcade classic that's been converted by Nintendo to the NES as a launch title for the American games. You'll play 5 minutes nowadays and you're good with it, but yeah, I'm happy to have this in my collection. I want to get all the black box games, those launch titles for the first 2 years of the Nintendo. So yeah, this goes into my black box collection. Very happy with this one. Yay! The next game I got is oldie but a goldie. I used to have a copy. I don't know where it is. It's the kind of game that everybody has, but I just don't know where my copy is. And that, of course, is Super Mario Bros. / Duck Hunt, which is a classic of everybody who has a NES has this game. It is, as it says, Super Mario Brothers / Duck Hunt. So you can both play Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt on the same cartridge. And of course, Duck Hunt uses a zapper gun, and Super Mario uses the regular controller, so it is both games fully complete, but on one cartridge. And I know it sounds like, oh, everybody's got that game, but it's fun to have. This one is the second Canadian model. It's got a bit of a blue border. I don't know if you guys can see it from there, but it's got a bit of a blue border around here, which is different. I think I'm gonna find all of the variants of this game, because I think there are 3 or 4 variants where you don't have that blue border and the things are different. There's a lot of these games that have been reprinted and stuff unofficially by Nintendo that have like borders and stuff. So yeah, as it says here, I paid $5. This is an easy enough sticker to remove. So yeah, this is a further proof it's the Canadian version. It has the English and French caution at the back, and it's in great shape. Both games are good. Both games are classic. Super Mario Brothers is my very first game that I've played. I have a copy of just Super Mario Brothers, and I have a copy of just Duck Hunt, and now I have a clean copy that I know where it is of Super Mario / Duck Hunt. All I'm missing right now for these particular games is the 3-in-1, which has Super Mario, Duck Hunt, and World Class Track Meet, but I'm gonna keep a lookout for that one. It's kind of still easy to find, but it's a little more uncommon compared to this one. Anyways, into my collection you go. Alright, one more game for my NES collection. We've got Double Dare, based on the TV game show. This game is made by Rare. Yes, that Rare. It even has music by David Wise. So if you're like into the Rare games, this is one of those games from that period where they made a lot of subcontracts, including things like the Nightmare on Elm Street game for the NES. That was by Rare too. So yeah, Double Dare. It's a fun little game show. The music is good. It says $5. Since I bought this one with the other two, he made it for $3 for this game. I think it's reasonable. I didn't have it. Now I have it. It's decent. The questions are a little bit time capsule-y, but yeah, it's a pretty good game. Up next, we have a game for the Super Nintendo. To complete my SNES full set, we have Paperboy 2, which is one of those games that came out during the first year of the Super Nintendo, which is cool. I try to make it a point to to get all the games that came out first. I think that's a good way to collect these. That's how I'm gonna tackle this problem, because I know a lot of the more expensive games, they're gonna be near the end of the life cycle of the console. We're talking like the games from 94, 95, 96, those games, a lot of those are like worth in the hundreds and such. Whereas the starting games, a lot of them, there was a lot of copies, it was plentiful, it was a new system, so a lot of people bought them. So things like Paperboy 2 I got for I think $8, which is very good for this game. Usually it goes about for 15-ish. It's the sequel to Paperboy. It's also a port of a PC game, I think. It's by Tengen, it's released by Mindscape. It's a decent game. I like the elevator music that plays in the game. I'm very happy with this one. I got this at the same pawn shop that I got the NES games today. Oh no! It's Godzilla! That's because I got Super Godzilla for the Super Nintendo. Look at that cool game. That cover art looks really sweet. Unfortunately, the game is kind of more of a simulation. I don't know what it is with Godzilla. The NES and SNES era games that came out in the West, at least, are all like simulations and Fire Emblem type strategy games. I have no idea. This one is kind of weird to explain. You just walk around in very stilted fashion, and then you fight the enemies, but there's no, like, it's not organic at all, but still, it's a Godzilla game, and, well, I'm trying to collect all the Godzilla games, because I love me some Godzilla, right? There's my wall over here with all of my Godzilla toys. Look at all these Godzilla toys. This is awesome, isn't it? But yeah, I don't quite get it. Why aren't there good Godzilla games? There was that Godzilla fighting game, like a Street Fighter with Godzilla characters, that was only in Japan. Like, released that over here in the 90s and it would have been crazy, but that was in 1994, 1995. This came out in July 1994, but after this, like, it was 1995, 1996, and people were all about the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64, so of course, it stayed in Japan. That's the mentality at the time, but in hindsight, they should have just released those games and made all the money. But yeah, this game is fine. It's the Godzilla game on Super Nintendo in the West, so I think the back has been changed. I have one of those reprint backs that they used to have with the Mexican printed reprints. They're not fakes, they're not facsimiles, they're actual official games, but instead of having the sticker, they had an embossed text here in the back. So I think the back of this particular cartridge has been swapped. I hope I get more Godzilla goodness real soon. So last week I told you all about a box that Cedric from Retour le Retro sent me, but in the meantime, after getting that box, I bought a few more games from him, and one of the first games that I bought from him, in a smaller lot, he sent me that in an envelope instead of a big box, I got ActRaiser for the Super Nintendo, which I'm really happy with. It's a clean copy. It's nice. The stickers are a little bit on the scratchy side. There's a little bit of scuff here I have to clean up. But apart from that, it's a nice copy of ActRaiser, another game from the first year of the Super Nintendo. This one is a hybrid of a god sim, like a Populous or something, mixed with a side-scrolling adventure title, kind of like your Haganes and whatnot. So like you do linear side-scrolling levels to get more loot and to defeat bosses and stuff, to restore the land so you can create more land and create more towns for your followers, because you are a god. And you want your followers to you know, be blessed because they're cool with you. So this is pretty cool. I got it for a really good price too. So yeah, I'm really happy with this one. Now a game for the Nintendo DS. I got Final Fantasy III. I had this game for the PSP, at least I have it digitally. I'm not sure I have it physically, but still, I had also Final Fantasy IV for the DS, so I was really happy to find a copy of Final Fantasy III. It's got that a bit of a sticker here, but it says Oogie Games. I think this company probably doesn't exist anymore. I might just leave the sticker on there because what underneath is just like, it's just white. Let's look inside. Okay, so we got the overstuffed DS things. We got all these booklets here, the French, the English version, all of that good stuff. We've got the cartridge here. It's very nice, it's very clean. That's what I like. So yeah, now I think I have all the Final Fantasies for the DS. I think I also, maybe I'm missing Revenant Wings, which is a Final Fantasy XII spin-off / sequel. Very happy with this one. And now the pièce de résistance of today's episode. I've got a copy of Paper Mario, The 1000-Year Door for GameCube. And this game I've wanted for a long time. I didn't get to play this game because as soon as I got interested in this game, I didn't have a GameCube. I was leaving my parents' house, I was going into my own apartment, so this game passed me by. I didn't have a GameCube, I had an Xbox in my teenage years. But now I'll be able to play it, finally. This was back in the time where you really it's just a classic RPG and that's all you want. Classic RPG with some action elements, but you don't have stickers that you can run out of, and you don't have bosses that are like circles that you have to boss fights aren't puzzles. This is just press the button, choose the attack, choose the enemy, bim bam boom, get her done. The only bad thing I can say about it is I think this is the second printing that has that big bestseller ugly thing with like the photoshopped effect that looks very early 2000s. I don't know what we were thinking in terms of design then, but like look at any video game magazine from the early 2000s and it's all about clunky, horrible looking designs. Let's look inside. Okay, so we've got the booklet. Very nice. The nice cool booklet with all this stuff. We also have a subscribe to Nintendo Power insert. I wish I could, but it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, there's a website and stuff, but it's not the same kind of thing. And of course, we have the disc, which is in great shape. Let's look at it. Looks great. Oof. Look at that. All nice and all clean. Wow. Paper Mario, the 1000-Year Door. I'm gladly putting this into my GameCube collection. Ah, yar! This makes me happy so much. I love game chasing. Yar! Well, that was it for today. Now that was a cool selection of games. More Super Nintendo for my full set, more NES, and also Paper Mario for the GameCube. Next week we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to be showcasing that bunch of Nintendo Powers that I got from Tipa Game, as well as some other guides and bits and bobs here and there that are in printed format. We're going to have a special on manuals and Nintendo Powers. That'll be fun. And then after that, the next week, there'll be more surprises. But that's for later. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again next time for another wonderful episode of Adventures in Game Chasing. Yarr!